So I actually had a call today with a store that was asking for my help. And the problem is they're not selling more cars. They're like, hey, can you help me out here? Like, I see all the successes and, we're going up in conversions, we're going up in traffic, but I'm not selling any more cars. And so we dug in a little bit and we looked at leads and we looked at calls, both of the volume of which had gone up. So as we dug in a little bit more, I actually asked for and looked in their CRM, and I asked them for some metrics, just top of mind. I asked the store, the managers I was talking about, hey, what's your appointment ratio, show ratio, things like that. So once we figured that out, I won't shame them and say that they didn't know that, but you should always know for your internet department, what is your contact, appointment set, appointment show, and sold ratios. Those are what your lifeblood is. If you have a BDC, it's even more important that you know what your contact, appointment set, and show ratio is, because that tells you whether or not you can actually pinpoint where the issues are if you know that information. And this is why there's a market for offsite BDCs right now. So the follow-up process for most stores is pretty templated. It's pretty standard. It's in the CRM. There's a default follow-up process in every single CRM provider that I know of. And you should absolutely customize it. You should not rely on the default follow-up process. You should get in there with the training rep, and set up your own follow-up process based on the strategies and your market for your store. That's step one. Step two, you should really evaluate the success of the volume of leads each of your internet salespeople have. So if you have someone gets 300 leads a month, but they're selling 35, 40 cars, I could probably live with that. But if you get someone who's getting 300 leads a month and they're selling maybe 10 cars, you need to dial back the volume of leads that they're getting, because they're getting too many. Now, you need to also make sure that you're not giving them shit quality leads. So don't give someone all the manifest lists for the manufacturer and then wonder why they're not closing beyond a 5% ratio. So this is really a two-way street. As internet managers, internet salespeople, your responsibility is to follow up in a unique and customized way with each lead that is delivered to you on behalf of the store. You are a representative of the store. You need to do your best to represent the store in the most professional, honest, transparent way possible in order to sell the vehicle, right? As a store, your responsibility to your salespeople is to provide them with quality leads, quality phone calls, quality traffic that they can then engage and use them to use those leads to make car sales. But how do you get the quality leads, right? We've got third-party lead sources that are ever declining on their close rate. Used to be we would be happy with 5 and 6%. Now we're down to like 3-4% on a close rate for third-party leads. So that's should not be your main lead source. What should be your main lead source? OEM manufacturer leads, and then your own website leads, and then the efforts from your own paid advertising sources. In addition to that, you can utilize your manifest list and make them better and improve the quality of them. You need a CDP to do that. And what I would recommend is, if you're talking to someone regarding a CDP, you need to ask a couple of direct questions. And this will absolutely help you get better lead quality, better opportunity quality to your internet salespeople. So what you do is you ask the CDP rep, can I upload my OEM manifest to your CDP? Can I download a CSV file and then upload that to my CRM? Because I get it. I mean, it's great to be able to work the lead out of a CDP, but I mean, at the end of the day, we have a hard enough time tracking the accountability of our reps within the CRM, let alone if we add a whole nother dashboard to that. So Maybe if you have a BDC, a fully like 10 staff, 10 seat BDC, maybe operating out of the CDP is a good way to go. But I think for John Q average salesperson, John Q average dealership owner, I think your best bet is to keep everything contained within the CRM. So by giving your salespeople, using the CDP to give your salespeople a better quality of lead from those manifests, a couple of things happen. So your OEM is happier because you're actually you're downloading the manifest and you're utilizing the manifest list to make contacts with those people. That's A. And then B, you're actually getting more repeat customers back to your dealership because you're utilizing the first party data the way it was intended to encourage loyalty. And then your salespeople are happier because their closing ratio goes up. And what happens when their close ratio goes up? Their confidence goes up. They sell more cars. It's, when's the best time to make a sale? Right after you made a sale. All that stuff that's all true. There's a reason that people say that. All that ecosystem, all that matters. So what I would actually, as an owner, what I tell you to do is employ a CDP. If you don't have one, NADA is coming up this week. Go look at the different companies who have CDP platforms, customer data platform, kind of like VIN number, vehicle identification number. Anyway, go look at the different companies that have CDPs and see what they're about. See if they have the two things that I said to ask, and then really take an honest look. Can your team handle that extra volume? So how many people do you have? If you're getting 1,000 leads, you should probably have about 10 people working in your internet department, or 8 people in your internet department. You should have a 3-person BDC. So how you set up your team for success really, really matters on the quality of salespeople that you get. If you're flooding the floor, so to speak, which is something they used to do when I sold cars. I worked at a BMW dealership. I think we had all of maybe 10 salespeople at one given time. And then a new GM came in and hired 15 more salespeople, and he lost all his high quality salespeople from the original 10 that didn't leave with the GM. There was maybe 4 of us left. Well, the rest of them left after that because it was clear that the GM had no concern for the welfare, well-being, and livelihood of the remaining people that were there by flooding the floor. So don't employ that tactic with your internet department. If your internet team, and like I said, you need to take this on a case by case and evaluate. You know how many leads your people can handle. And if you don't, it's very easy to find out. What's their close rate on third-party leads? What's their close rate on manufacturer leads? What's their close rate on leads from your website? I gave you all the numbers in the beginning. Their numbers should be at that or over that to maintain where they're at as far as lead volume. If it's under that, you need to look at the underlying causes. You need to find out, are they here when they're here? Which means, are they out front smoking cigarettes, drinking coffee, or are they back here working leads? Are they... Now, I had actually a sales lady I worked with that she sold 25, 30 cars a month from her own book of business, and she was not working the internet leads as well as she could. It had nothing to do with an apathy towards it. She just didn't have time. So the best thing that I told them to do for her is hire her an assistant. Give her a BDC assistant at the tune of $10, $12 an hour, that all she does is make phone calls and follow up with her customers and make appointments for her to set up, and she'll sell double that. So listen to your team, get a CDP, get them quality leads, and then hold them accountable to set goals and close rates, and inspect it along the way. If you're not doing all these things, you can't expect the success from your team by asking your marketing company, what's wrong with my sales? That's all I got for this week. Happy selling.